How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for coming out here tonight on, it's a beautiful day in the city of Atlanta in one of the most beautiful venues in the city, and we appreciate you taking the time to be here with us. My name is Thomas Wheatley. I'm a reporter at Axios Atlanta, and we're thrilled to bring the What's Next event series here to Atlanta, where tonight we will talk about, spoilers, but what's next for this great city. If you are a subscriber to Axios Atlanta, first and foremost, thank you so much for starting your day with us. We have the best readership, and we appreciate it so much. If you're not a subscriber, what are you waiting for? It will change your life, and life's too short. So please sign up, axios.com/local/Atlanta, or Axios Atlanta. We've got a great night ahead of us with some great conversations, so let's just jump right into it. Any conversation about the Beltline, any conversation about the future of Atlanta would requires a conversation about the Beltline. So please welcome Beltline CEO Clyde Higgs. A pleasure. Good to see you.
Pleasure.
Thank you for joining us.
Happy to do it. Happy to do it. How are you?
I'm great.
Good, good,
Yeah,
good.
it's been a good day. It's been a good week. The question that I hear the most whenever I talk with people about the Beltline is the question of transit on the Beltline and the question of will rail happen on the Beltline. Where are we right now with that conversation?
Yeah, that is fair. So let's start with the easy question, Thomas. Thank you. I appreciate it.
They only get harder.
Okay. Fair enough. So yes, we are moving forward with transit, just to be direct. But let me just share a little bit of the data with you all. I love our city. Atlanta is amazing. We have the world's busiest airport. We got the world's best mayor. We got Fortune 500 companies. We're the most educated city. Atlanta is just a popular place to be. I mean, we are the 6th largest metro in the country right now. But my friend Anna Roach, who is the head of the Atlanta Regional Commission, her group has suggested that we're going to add almost 2 million additional residents to Atlanta in the next couple of decades. Wow. 2 million people in the next couple of decades. I would submit to you that we don't have a choice. This is not optional for us to do transit. And I would talk about the Beltline. The Beltline is a portion of that solution, but this is a Metro Atlanta challenge. And so, yes, we are going to advance transit on the Beltline, but it has to be a Metro conversation. And so, no, there's a lot of challenges. Not everyone, as we are completely honest and transparent, not everyone agrees with that assumption that we need to have transit on the Beltline. But if you really are talking to the most people that actually love our city, most reasonable people, most people agree that we need to have some type of transit on the Beltline. That's what most reasonable people believe.
And the big debate is rail or some other version.
That is the big conversation right now. And so rail is the prevailing mode right now, but we have to be thoughtful and make sure that we actually study, those other modes out there. There are folks that are suggesting that we should look at autonomous vehicles, helicopters, space kittens that fly, whatever it may be. And I'm being a little bit of flippant there, but I mean, to really do our due diligence, we have to look at those other options out there. But the leading mode right now is on the rail side. And what you hear from the opposition is disturbance. People love the Beltline in its current version right now. So they want to see construction for the next 4 years on the East Side Trail. People also talk about aesthetics. That's a part of the issue.
Right.
Like, hey, we don't want some ugly monstrosity just going through the Beltline. But there are ways to manage that as well. You can do aesthetically pleasing transit rail on the Beltline. And so those are the things that we're investigating. And again, the mayor has been very supportive in these conversations. I think we'll have significantly more information the first quarter of next year.
And the decision maker is the mayor.
The mayor is leading a lot of these conversations, but as a good mayor does, he rests on his people and his leaders to inform him, and that's what we're doing right now, to do our due diligence to make sure that he has all the information so that we can make good decisions as we move forward.
And we're talking about what's next, and one thing that I always like to think about with the Beltline is how has it changed the development patterns in Atlanta? And are we just going to see that change along the loop? Is there any chance do you see that rippling out, or do you see it just kind of a loop of density with our spine of density along Peachtree? Or has it been a paradigm shift citywide?
It has. So, I mean, we all think about the city of Atlanta, and our traditional spine has been, if you think about it, Buckhead, Midtown, and downtown. And what the Beltline has done, Thomas, is create this bowing out effect where you have these other significant population nodes, be it the East Side Trail and also the West Side Trail. And oftentimes when we think about the Beltline, we think about Ponce, we think about Krog, and they're absolutely wonderful. But the West Side, I'm telling you, is coming. With all of the activity, we're tracking over $2 billion of investment just on the West Side. We're pushing forward with our own development, Murphy Crossing, which is a 20-acre site off the West Side Trail, the Beltline. Other announcements from other partners and real estate developers out there. I'm very, very bullish on what's happening on the West Side. That is, from my thought, going to be the next significant population center. Now, it's different from the East Side Trail because we're going through a residential community versus an industrial one like on the east, but I see the development coming.
And that was going to be my next question, just in a word. I mean, would you say it is Murphy Crossing? That's how many acres? That, like, in your mind's eye, when you look forward to the future, what does Murphy Crossing look like?
Yeah, it is going to decidedly be a dense redevelopment project. It is going to have strong affordability, and this is one of the things that's really important to the mayor, and why our development partner that is the finalist for this cul-de-sac, making sure that we have long-term commercial affordability and residential affordability that is low part. So this is an organization out of Arizona, and this is their specialty. They redevelop sites with low parking there. And so definitely invite you to look them up, but a fantastic group. But I'm very excited what we're going to see at Murphy. There's also additional sites that we own adjacent to Murphy that will ultimately get redeveloped for housing affordability and also commercial affordability as well.
Got it. It seems like over the past few years, there's been a ton of interest from the philanthropic sector about building out the trails, making sure that the Beltline has funding to kind of see itself out. What are the remaining challenges in your mind in terms of the Beltline, or does it feel like we've got smooth sailing from here?
Yeah, I would say, so the Beltline, in my opinion, is a 20-year overnight success. And, so it does feel like we are in a better position than we have ever been. We're in a solid position. And when I took over as CEO, it's almost going on 6 years now. I can't believe the time has flown by that quickly. But it was very ambiguous about us even completing the trail. Whoever writes the next book about the Beltline, they have to mention what happened about 3.5 years ago, and that was the passage of the SSD, the Special Service District. And for all of my commercial real estate friends out here, This is the additional millage that was advanced by property owners, passed by City Council, 13 to 2 at the time. That will go down as perhaps one of the most important pieces of legislation to help us support the Beltline. Mm-hmm. What that did is ultimately helped us to bond against this new revenue source. We pulled forward $100 million for trail design and construction, and what that did for us is freed up a lot of money. That's why when you hear about Beltline and housing affordability, you're going to hear from my friend Terry Lee later on about this, because she was actually in the previous administration. We were having this conversation, but it freed up a lot of our cash. That's why we're so aggressive on the housing affordability side. And again, and this mayor's been very focused in helping support us. One of the things that we're thinking through is that not only are we going to meet the 5,600 unit goal, but there is a world where we think we're going to do about 7,200 units by the end of 2030. So that's about 30% ahead of our goal. But that was significant, and ultimately that helped to generate interest from the private philanthropic community. The Woodruff Foundation, $80 million. The Cox Foundation, $30 million. $150 million from the Beltline TAD. And so that will go down in history as perhaps one of the most critical points in our history, in our development.
In 2032, the tax allocation district, the kind of financial mechanism that really enabled the Beltline to become what it is, or played a very large role in it, that expires. Should that continue on, or should the Beltline turn into a project that gets absorbed by the city, and that's how it evolves from here on out? And we've got very short time.
Yeah. So 2030 is just right around the corner for sure, and that's something that we need to think about as a city, because we have some really hard conversations and some really hard decisions to make with regards to even the SSD. So if you look at our business plan, we call it the Strategic Implementation Plan. We've refreshed that, and we had to make hard decisions to get focused around trail, affordable housing, and economic development. And so when I came on board, that's what we got focused on. But there's still a lot of work to be done around parks, spur trail, and although we talk about 5,600 units of affordable housing, there's going to be greater need out there. So I would submit that the TAD perhaps should continue. Now, that's a collaborative conversation that we need to have, but I think we have so much opportunity out there if the TAD were to get extended.
Cool. Very last thing, one fun fact about you. You told me that once you made an appearance at an NBA game. What happened?
Yes, I played. Y'all didn't know that's what I did in my prior. No,
we played together.
Yeah, we played together. Yeah, you were a center, right? Yeah. Okay.
I was.
All right. Okay.
I was. I'm a legend.
Yes. No, thanks for asking about that. So this is when I was living in Charlotte, North Carolina, and you all have the halftime entertainment where they call somebody out and they give you a basketball and they tell you, you got 5 seconds to make a shot, and so they call me out and they give me a chance and they take it down 3, 2, 1, and I hoist it, and nothing but net. Nothing but net. But the kicker is, and this is for me, my dad, my grandfather, and my son were all in the audience. So you had all generations of Higgs men right there in the audience. So that was really a treat for me.
Moral of the story, shoot your shot, right?
Shoot your shot.
Yeah.
Transit, housing, all those things. Shoot your shot, Atlanta.
Cool. Thank you very much for joining us. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time. We're going to be followed up with, go ahead, yes, please.